I saw a sign there, so many great signs. This land was made for you and me.
In Arlington Heights, Illinois, Paul Buden sings an American classic, "This Land Is Your Land" by Woody Guthrie. He's one of 8,000 to 12,000 passionate protesters gathered for a No Kings demonstration at Recreation Park.
People are fed up with what is going on in Washington.
Local history teacher A.J. Martano was at the protest, wrapped in a Gadsden flag and carrying a quote from one of his favorite TV shows, Andor. He's worried his students' futures are at risk.
I teach about the Constitution in my classes, and sometimes while I'm teaching, I think to myself, is this going to be relevant in 1 to 2 years?
We, the people, will fight for our democracy.
Jahn Srivastava, host of the Jahn Srivastava show, spoke at the protest. He told us he was speaking on behalf of Gen Z people everywhere, like students at Prospect.
No!
We have not always been at the table at every decision. I mean, there is a somewhat tendency maybe to count us out. And I think we have to just fight for that seat at the table.
Srivastava, Buden, and Martano joined an estimated 7 million Americans spread across over 2,700 protests nationwide. One of those other protests was going on less than 5 minutes away in neighboring Mount Prospect, Illinois. Mount Prospect Police Department Crime Prevention Officer Gregory Sill gave us insight into how the department goes about preparing for protests.
Anytime we as a department are always, again, happy to help people stay safe when they're exercising their First Amendment right, freedom to assemble, freedom of speech. So that's something that we're absolutely, for. We want everyone to be safe. We want everyone to have that, basically be there to be a visual deterrent, and then also obviously make sure that people are allowing others to exercise their freedom of speech as well and their freedom to assemble.
Susan Grish, a protester in Mount Prospect, shared her fear of ICE and federal agents conducting raids in her neighborhood.
That's the problem, is there's no warrants. People with legal status are being disappeared. It's not America.
At the Arlington Heights protest, Martano echoed Grish's concerns.
But I know people in our districts, I've known parents who've been taken as they were dropping their kids off into school. A kid might be dropped off to school and then try to go home and their parent isn't there anymore. That makes me deeply upset, deeply upset.
Less than 24 hours later, their fears would be realized. The quiet corner of George Street and Evergreen Avenue would be filled with 15 to 20 armed and masked ICE agents on a manhunt. Jason Weinkoop, who lives in the neighborhood with his family and raised his daughter on these same streets, was one of the first to spot the ICE agents.
I asked one if I could help him, and he leaned out the window and asked me, pulled down a mask, asked me if I had seen anybody running through the neighborhood wearing handcuffs.
The detained man would later be found in the backyard of 104 South Mount Prospect Road. He had escaped from ICE after being detained at the local Walmart. A helicopter was over the community for almost 75 minutes. Weinkoop was disturbed by the presence.
It kind of felt like we're, under watch. I'm trying to watch the Bears game and all I can hear is a helicopter. It's like you're so incompetent that you lost people in handcuffs.
Weinkoop himself attended a No Kings rally the day prior in Schaumburg. His fellow protesters in Mount Prospect and Arlington Heights echoed his views on ICE.
There are good people here that realize this is wrong.
One of my personal family friends, they just had one of their family friends who works as a landscaper for them. They got taken by ICE yesterday.
One fact was incredibly clear. People showed up for the protest in greater numbers than ever before.
Well, I'll tell you, speaking up there, I got chills. I got chills because there were the place was packed, and apparently capacity here is 12,000. We get this feeling we might have passed that.
Buden started his acoustic set early due to the thousands of people at the protest before the 3 o'clock start time. Aisha Davis, senior policy counsel with the ACLU of Illinois, was clear about the importance of the protests.
I think it's imperative for us to, especially at this time, join together and really show what it is that we're standing up for as opposed to just what we're fighting against.
The Trump administration has labeled these historic protests Hate America rallies. The Americans of the protest disagree. They say love of country is what these rallies were all about.
I asked who's here because they love their country. That's the loudest I've heard that crowd.
For KnightTV, this is Noah Jahn.
No King!